What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I'm back. This is your host, TheDreadMan Thomas, with the DreadMan Sports Podcast, and I'm here with my boy Flip Side. Say what's up, Flip.
What's up, guys?
We're back in week 8 in the books and week 9. Wow, we are already halfway through the regular NFL season, and so much has happened. This season has been so crazy with everything between underdog teams beating the favorite teams, injuries to all these top names like Odell Beckham and Aaron Rodgers, and even some of the locker room drama going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers and all these other teams across the league. It's just been a crazy year so far, and like I said, it's only halfway over. And yeah, so and also the trade deadline. But Flip, what do you think?
This trade deadline is pretty crazy, man. I wasn't expecting a lot of this to happen, especially that Kelvin Benjamin trade. That was pretty crazy. I thought the Panthers were trying to at least make the playoffs this year or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. And some of the trades that got me is the Jay Ajayi trade to the Eagles. Wow, I did not see coming a mile away.
That one, I mean, I was kind of shocked at first, but then I was like, the Dolphins they don't have high hopes for this team, and that O line is kind of just, I don't know, man. They haven't been him, so I mean, at least you have a chance to do something on the effective contender.
Yeah, but and of course, like I said, you got the whole locker room drama that's going on between it's going on in the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room with Martavis Bryant saying that if he's not more included, that he wants out. And then Juju Smith shows off with 1 touchdown, 12 receptions, I think, and 193 yards. I guess that shows that your position isn't solidified. Even though I still think that I still think that he's going to play a big role. It's showing that your position is not in stone. You can be replaced. Because right now, as it stands, Bryant is the number 2 guy, at least the number 2 receiver. But shoot, you can even argue the number 2 receiver is Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that offense, man. It's just Ben can throw it to basically anybody. So I mean, as long as you're open, I can see Ben getting it to you. Unless you're, Antonio Brown, and you're gonna get your targets regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though I ask this question every single week, but that boy Deshaun Watson, is he the real deal or is he the real deal? Are you convinced yet?
Look, man, I've been convinced like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was y'all that kept saying, he hasn't gone against the real defense yet. He's gonna get lit up by Kansas City, and then y'all were non-believers against the Seahawks. Look what he's done, man. I'm telling you, DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller got his back, and he's willing to throw the ball. That's
Yeah, man. But like I said, I'm a believer now. But the thing is he gonna? I mean, like, of course, this is rookie year, so all rookies ball out for the rookie year because they want that number 1 spot. But the thing is, even though right now it's kind of too early to tell, do you think that he'll fall victim to the sophomore slump curse, like RG3 and Cam Newton and Andrew Luck and so many other rookie quarterbacks that have gotten hit by that slump?
I kind of hope he doesn't, and I'm leaning towards he won't, because he seems like he's a bit smarter with when he wants to run, and he's willing to air it out. Like the problem with Dak was a lot of people were like, oh, he's just a game manager. He's throwing short passes. You see Watson out there, he's airing it out. He's not afraid to try to throw it into DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, we saw he got pick 6 trying to force the ball, but you kind of want to see that because it shows that he's not afraid to go after these players,
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, this last game. All right, now we get into our review of last week. Game of the week. Do I even really need to say it? I mean, the Seahawks and the Texans game was the game of the week by far, in my opinion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Hey, definitely. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
There's no game that even comes close to that.
Yeah. And besides, the reason is because both teams put on an offensive and defensive clinic. There was nothing that game did not include. Everybody on both teams showed off on both sides of the ball. So yeah, you can't really argue with that too much. Anyway, in your opinion, who does the player of the week go to?
Player of the week. That
You could lean between Carson Wentz, Juju Smith, or you could lean between Deshaun Watson. Either of those three will be fine.
you could even go DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh yeah, DeAndre Hopkins showed. Well, did he get as many yards? Well, yeah, he might actually got more yards than Juju, I think.
I think he had like 220 something yards.
Yeah, like I said, Juju had 193, but yeah. But for me, like I said, I'm gonna have to give it to Deshaun Watson. He might actually be the player of the week this week for me. But if you got DeAndre Hopkins, I totally understand. I understand why you do.
You know what? I might have to give it to Russell Wilson just because he actually got the win.
I'm not mad at that either. I mean, because people
both
say
had
that Russell
injury
Wilson's
luck.
been quiet this year. People say he's been quiet this year, and I kind of agree with that. But thing is, in his wins, he's been getting it done.
Yeah, look at that. 452 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Yeah, he did his thing out there, man. We kind of sleeping on us. He got the win too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a rest, man. He killed it this week.
Yeah. Now, who is your most improved team of the week this week? For me, or the team that stood out to me the most, probably either Buffalo or Carolina, because I picked against Carolina. I was pissed off at myself for picking against Carolina. Something told me not to pick Tampa Bay in that game. I should have went with my first instinct, but I didn't because I wanted to play it safe just because the Bucks were at home. But like I said, I'm gonna have to either go with the Bills or Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of like we have like a team that we say like, oh man, they look like they improved a good bit. Because I mean, the Panthers are probably like the best bet. The Bills kind of face the Raiders, but we already know the Bills' defense is solidified, so
Right.
that wasn't really surprising. Yeah, I guess the Panthers almost shutting out the Bucks is kind of pretty surprising. I thought it'd be a little bit closer than that. 17-3.
Now we go to my favorite part, the choke of the week. Indianapolis, you had it. You had the damn game won, but you blew it to the damn Cincinnati Bengals. That's all I got to say about that.
I might have to give it to the Texans defense for choke of the week.
Hmm. I'm not. You know what? You actually might be right about that. I'm not mad at that. But the thing is, can you really call it a choke? Can you really call it a choke just because if they had J.J. Watt, it would have been a different story.
I mean, we really weren't expecting Jimmy Graham to kill him with like a few minutes left on the clock like that, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like we look at the Texans defense and we say, okay, these guys are they should be one of the top defenses in the league even without Watt and Mercer. But I don't know, man. That I don't know. You should have a shootout between two elite defenses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Texans defense.
Yeah, definitely.
Not the Texans. This is their defense.
Yeah. All right, now Week 9 predictions. Let's get into this. Thursday night game: the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Now, of course, the Bills are hard for their defense is pretty damn solid. They probably have one of the top 5 defenses in the league, and they especially step up there. I mean, their defense is better in the first half than it is the second, but they are holding. And the New York Jets, the Jets do okay against teams that are below 500. And the thing is, let's be real, the Jets are not impressive this year. And the Bills, I mean, even though this is the Jets' home, I can see the Bills actually running all over them. But it's gonna come down to who makes. I mean, like, of course, you can say this for any football game, but it comes down to who makes the least mistakes. And the thing is, but the Bills have an X factor that the Jets don't, and that's a running game. They have a running game to lean on if the passing game doesn't work out. So, my opinion, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. Let's say 24-16. 24-16 Bills.
If Kelvin Benjamin is active this week, which I hope he is, the Bills are looking like they want to push for playoffs, and they believe they can. So
Yeah.
I feel like they'll have a momentum shift in this game, and they'll come out and try to get Kelvin situated. So I could see Tyrod throwing a good game this week, and I don't really trust McCown. He's had some decent games these last few weeks, but against the Bills defense, I don't see it. I got him 27-13.
All right. Next up, we have a defensive showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jags are at home for this game. I don't really see this one being that much of a high-scoring game. I don't trust Blake Bortles, but I think I trust I might trust Blake Bortles a little bit more than I trust Andy Dalton, because Andy Dalton, his head is in the clouds right now, and if he's not careful, he could be getting replaced in the next year or two. I don't care how good receivers you have to hide behind if you make bad decisions. Like I said, the Jags defense is doing, they're doing the damn thing right now. It's just, shoot, I think in the past few games they put up more defensive points than they have offensive points than the Blake Bortles throwing touchdowns, and that's saying something. And it's against teams that are not that bad, that are right at or above 500 teams. So yeah, like I said, the Bengals, their only hope and prayer is to air the ball out and hope that they don't get any turnovers. But the Jags are known for forcing a turnover or two every game, or at least once a game. And if not, then they can get a sack for about 10 or 15 yards. They can hold the defense. They can push back the O line and pressure the quarterback. And Andy Dalton does not do good under pressure. When he gets, the thing is, you notice whenever Andy Dalton takes a sack, he normally takes sacks back to back. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to the Jags. It's not gonna be a very high scoring game. I'm gonna say 21-13.
All right. Fournette is back this week, so I automatically like the Jags.
Right.
But the Jags are also getting their rookie receiver back, and he's been getting a lot of praise since the beginning, or since the preseason. So I mean, I feel like they figured out their passing attack last week because Marquise Lee and Allen Hurns have some pretty decent games. So with Fournette back, I feel like the Bengals are gonna kind of try to stack the run, but get exposed in the passing, the secondary, and I don't think Dalton can throw against this defense. So I got it around the same spot as you, maybe like 24-10.
I can see that definitely happening. All right, next up we got NFC South divisional matchup: Tampa Bay Bucks against the New Orleans Saints, and it is at the Superdome. Drew Brees is in his bag right now. They are probably, the thing is, probably the most competitive division in football right now is the NFC South. It is a toss up. It is really anybody's game, and one loss for any team that could really end it right now. The thing is, you could be, yeah. I mean, it really is going to be a home stretch kind of thing, because all these teams are really neck and neck if you think about it. But Jameis Winston, he's got a hell of an arm, but he's got good receivers to throw to. He's got weapons. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that he's a little bit iffy with the decisions he makes. Drew Brees, of course, what the hell can I say about him? He's a vet. The Saints don't really have much of a defense. Their defense is stepping up lately. They've been better. They've been doing better what they've been doing. But come on, when you got the arm that Drew Brees got, you don't really need to have a good defense. You can just turn any game you want into a shootout. And when you're Drew Brees and the Saints against anybody, you turn it into a shootout. I like your chances. So based off Drew Brees' veteran instincts and the fact that the Saints are at home, I'm going to give this to the Saints 28-14.
Yeah. What's your thing with NFC South though? And I have to see what the Panthers do this because they're still without Greg Olsen until week 12. So it's looking like Funches and I don't even know who their backup receivers. So it might be McCaffrey and Funches getting out touch. So we'll have to see that. But Saints should run over this Buccaneers team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's an absolute because their defense has been playing pretty decent recently. But I just don't think that James can outgun swing Mr. Drew Brees here. So, yeah, I'm thinking around the same spot as you, 28-14.
All right. We see eye to eye. next up, we got the New York Giants going up against the St. Louis Rams. The Rams are pretty damn solid on both sides of the ball, but I think at this point, with the Giants' defense not being able to stop a piece of wet toilet paper, and with them having a crippled offense, um, Jared Goff, he could be a force to be reckoned with in the next couple of years. He just needs the experience. And don't even get me started on the Rams' weapons. The Rams are probably one of the most slept-on teams in the NFC right now, if not the entire league. I something kind of wants me to give the Giants the upset just because they're at home, but I'm gonna pick the Rams just to be safe. I'm gonna go ahead and say Rams 27-20.
Yeah, I can see that. The thing with this week is Janoris Jenkins is out. He got suspended. So I feel like those slot or slip DRC in there, and it'll be perfectly fine. So I kind of feel like the same with you. I feel like this could be an upset. I think Sterling Shepard's back this week too, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So I mean, they've been doing pretty well in the passing game with just tight ends. So I could see the Giants maybe upsetting this game and winning. I think it'll be up there though, like 28-34. I could see that.
Wow, you actually have a high
28-34
scoring game?
Giants.
All right.
Yeah, I could see the Rams defense.
I mean, I understand what you mean because with Eli Manning, you never know. You really never know with Eli Manning. He could be Superman one day, he could be a bum the next. So Eli Manning, you never really know. I guess it just depends on the level of competition that they face. And at this point, the Rams are no slouches at all. But all right,
I was going to finish with. I like Goff, but I don't trust him completely yet, just because he's shown us what he can do last season.
Yeah. He's got chinked in his armor, but then again, what quarterback doesn't? Like I said, but I'm going to pick the Rams just to be on the safe side.
All right, cool.
All right, next game. Ooh, we got another NFC divisional matchup. We got the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers are starting to pick up more and more momentum. I'm starting to like their chances to take the NFC South more and more every single week. The Falcons, I mean, they've got all the right weapons. It's just that they've been having a lot of bad luck this year. It's just that Matt Ryan, he's inconsistent this year. Like I said, they got all the right weapons. It's just like, I don't know if it's bad decisions by Ryan. I don't know if it's bad play calling by the offensive coordinator, or they just been having luck against crappy teams. Cam Newton's starting to wake up. Christian McCaffrey, he did a pretty damn good job last game. Some people are not 100% sold on him, but I think that he can be trusted with the ball in certain situations. And the thing is, of course, the Panthers, I mean, they've got, they got Luke Kuechly on the defensive side of the ball. You can't go wrong with him. It's just that, are the Cam's weapons with the Panthers going to be better than Matt Ryan's weapons with the Falcons? And this is another pick that I might regret. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Panthers by, let's say, 3 points. Yeah, I'm going to say 24-27 Panthers.
All right. Like I said before, I got to see what the team can do without Calvin. I feel like I feel like they shouldn't have gone with that choice.
Yeah.
I kind of get it because when Calvin was out, Funches was, he was doing his thing, but I don't know, man. The run game is kind of weird. If Jonathan Stewart was running well this year, I would be kind of, more positive about their run game, but he's getting stuffed back there. Caffrey's shown that he's not a great runner, but he's a great receiving back.
Yeah.
Cam's had kind of he had two kind of bad games, and then this game kind of just the defense helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
I see Matt Ryan making a statement in this game. I got it. Falcons 28-17. 17.
All right. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm convinced the Eagles are for real. They're probably going to get the first round bye in the NFC conference. Carson Wentz has shown that he's a world beater. He's shown that he could be an elite quarterback in the next 2 years. He could be up there with the Drew Breeses and the Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's and stuff like that. Just give him time to, improve his skill set and patch a little hole he's got. But he's got all the weapons in the world. And the thing is, you would think, but the thing is, he's that kind of quarterback where he makes his weapons better. He makes the average receivers look better than they really are. And I don't know what the hell's going on with the Broncos situation. The Broncos are inconsistent as hell. The only thing that really saves the Broncos and what's winning them games is their defense, is their secondary. But the thing is, everybody said, like, they've been going up against, the Eagles have been going up, it was like, oh man, the Eagles haven't went up against a top-notch secondary. Well, they have, the secondaries he has went up against, he's lit them up. I see this going to, the thing is, these teams don't really face each other a lot either. But then again, like I said, with the Broncos, they're inconsistent and like they could be heads or tails either way. But I just trust the Eagles more in this game. I'm gonna say Eagles 28-13.
That seems about right. Man, this is probably not the best game for Giants playing if he's going to play. Because that run defense is something crazy.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. Eagles will probably run away with this game just because the Broncos are not that great against tight ends. It was Evan Ingram lit them up, and then Hunter Henry had a pretty good game against them.
Yeah.
Now they're going up against Zach Ertz.
Yeah, Zach Ertz.
So I don't see the Broncos winning this game. It just doesn't seem like this is the game for them to win. I could see them definitely losing this 24-10. Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens coming off against them whooping the Miami Dolphins' ass. I'm still kicking myself for picking against them last week. Jesus, 40-0. But yeah, they're coming off a win, but they're going up against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, they're another tricky team because they are another team that plays to the level of their competition. They've got pretty damn good weapons too. I don't know if it's just Mariota or I don't know or if it's because the defense, they blow a lot of plays on their side of the ball too. The Titans have the better offense, but the Ravens might have a better defense. And that's going to be the determining factor of this game. Actually, the determining factor of this game is probably going to be who makes the least mistakes. Penalties, sacks, turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, the whole 9 yards. But the Titans are at home, and I like their chances a lot better. So I'm going to go with them over. I'm going to go with them over the Ravens by 6 points. Let's say 22-28.
Okay, Flacco's out this game, right?
Yep, he's out.
I'm not tripping. Yeah. Yeah, I got Titans winning just because Flacco's out. He wasn't performing well, but it's Flacco, so it's like, teams kind of, playing against him. So if there's no Flacco, I could see the Ravens just trying to commit to the run, see if Alex Collins can get them ahead in the game early. But I don't think it'll work against the Titans defense. They've been pretty decent against the run, so I got it 20-13.
All right. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers, and the Arizona Cardinals are without a quarterback. Well, they're not without a quarterback, but they're without their own starter, Carson Palmer. He's out for the year with a broken arm. The 49ers just now got Jimmy Garoppolo. Did they say he was starting this week or what? Or are they going to hold him off?
No, he might not start till week 12.
I think they're going to hold off on starting him for a little bit. This game is very, very, very tricky to decide. The 49ers are at home, but the thing is, their quarterback is so inconsistent, it doesn't even really matter. Like, the 49ers defense is below average. The Cardinals defense is okay. But But the Cardinals, they do have as far as their running game, they've got a lot of options as far as their running game. They really do. And I think that might be what gives them the edge in this one. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. 24-17.
Yeah, that was about where I had it. I don't think the 49ers are getting shut out this week.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really run-heavy week unless Drew Stanton has one of his his hit games instead of his misses, because he can hit sometimes. He's shown that. I mean, I guess when you have John Brown and J.J. Nelson, you can hit anytime you want. So, I mean, the receiving for the Cardinals might be a factor here. I don't think you have to be the greatest quarterback to get the ball to Larry.
Yeah.
So, Adrian Peterson, he might open up the receiving game, and yeah, I could see the Cardinals winning about 24-13.
All right. And just a quick side note before we get in our next prediction. You're a Chargers fan, right? What coincidence is it that both of our teams got a bye week this week?
Oh, it's great, man.
Yeah, I know. That's a coincidence.
My fantasy team.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, next game, we got Washington Redskins going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks, win or lose, they always put on a hell of a show. They are pretty much. I mean, I don't care how anybody feels about them. Love them, hate them, anywhere in between. Seahawks games are always exciting to watch because it's so high scoring. They always deliver. They are never boring. Now, all right. Name one boring Seahawks game this year. I'll wait.
I mean, some in the beginning were kind of boring.
I mean, let's be a little bit nitpicky, but I'll buy that. But yeah, they're going up against the Redskins. The Redskins, they do not do well on away games, and they don't really do good against teams that are over 500. And the Seahawks, especially when they're at home, they're a juggernaut, man. And the Redskins, Kirk Cousins, he's gonna feel that. He's gonna feel that defense. He's gonna feel that 12th man, and he's gonna feel the Legion of Boom. I'd say the keys to victory for the Redskins is get rid of the ball quick, pressure Russell Wilson, and get as many turnovers as you can. Keys to victory for the Seahawks. Pretty much just do what you did when you beat the beat the Texans, except don't turn the ball over at all. But I'm liking the Seahawks. I like their chances more. I got the Seahawks by 10 points. Now, you know what? Yeah, I got them by 10 points. 31-21.
I see that. The Redskins' best receiver is out, Jordan Reed. Their best wide receiver is a rookie. I mean, at least they have Chris Thompson, I guess.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, Seahawks should run away with this one, man. It should be like 27 to, I don't know, maybe like 17, because Kirk Cousins had some like breakout moments to Vernon Davis or something.
Right. Next up, we got, this should be a very, very interesting one. We got the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in Jerry's World against the Dallas Cowboys. The Kansas City Chiefs, Alex Smith, he's had a couple of bad games. But the thing is, he's shown that he still got it in a lot of situations. The Cowboys, it's unknown as to whether Zeke is going to start or not. But the thing is, I don't really think that'll matter because they've got Alfred Morris and they've got Darren McFadden to back him up. Even though they haven't really had that much playing time this year, but with as good as Zeke has been running, we know why they haven't. But the thing is, I don't really like to pick against them, the Cowboys, that much because I don't want to seem like I'm a hater. But the thing is, I picked against the Cowboys 3 times in the last 5 weeks, and I've been wrong only twice. So yeah, man, I really don't want to be wrong. I really don't. but I'm actually gonna go with the Cowboys over the Chiefs. Ugh. I'm gonna yeah, I know. All right, I'm gonna say 31-28.
I can see that.
Yeah.
My score is, I mean, it's close to that. Uh, I don't think Alfred Morris is in any way, shape, or form. Uh, Dak, this is kind of that game where you see if Dak can play without Zeke. I think he did it earlier in the season, right?
Yeah, he did.
He played a game without Zeke. I mean, he did pretty decently, but I mean, against the Kansas City defense, you kind of want Zeke there to take the pressure off. They stack the box against him.
Yeah.
It helps. So I feel like they're just going to focus in on Zeke. They don't really fear Alfred Morris that much. I got Chiefs kind of blowing them out almost. I wouldn't say blow. I think Dak will lead them down the field a couple times. So I'll give it like 31-17.
All right.
Maybe 20. 31-20. Yeah, we'll
Let
go
me say a
31.
Chiefs win would not really surprise me. It's just that I gotta have one. I gotta have one underdog pick every week, and I think this will be one of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Next up, we got the Oakland Raiders going up against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have been on the decline. The Raiders have just been middle of the road. They've been doing just good enough to get by. Their playoff hopes are not 100% dead yet, but the thing is, the Dolphins aren't really looking that much better either. So, and this is the AFC conference game. So, the winner of this has a better chance of making the wild card in the long run in the conference. Derek Carr, he's really gonna have to step his game up. The thing is, if he can go this whole game without getting sacked once, then they win. But the thing is, do you really see that happening against the Dolphins defense? But then again, with the way the Dolphins played yesterday, with the way they played last week against the Ravens, they just got embarrassed. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to the Raiders. Let's say I don't really have this being a high scoring game either. Let's just say 21-10 Raiders.
You said you needed one upset pick this week, and I feel like this might be my upset pick.
Oh, really?
I feel like Jarvis Landry might feel a little confident that the Dolphins are sticking with him as their wide receiver one. They're not trading him. I feel like the Dolphins were upset with Jay Ajayi more than anything. That's kind of why they just dealt him away before he kind of showed he's a complete fluke.
Yeah.
Let people ride that last season a bit where he was running pretty crazy. Give him a chance in another system. And they bring in their new guys. What's his name? Damian Williams and Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
So you give new running backs some run. They haven't been scouted by the other team that much. So you got that going for you. You might surprise them a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders have been known to give up some touchdowns. They're not like the greatest defense, so you got that going. I think Amari Cooper, I feel like he might go back into his slump again. Crabtree might be the X factor in this, but I feel like it might be Crabtree versus Jarvis Landry this week. So I got it Dolphins 24, Raiders 20.
Wow, you actually have it a close game. All right. And last but not least, another got an NFC North matchup. The Detroit Lions going up against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. But then again, it doesn't really matter if the Packers are Aaron Rodgers-less.
Yes.
Now the Lions have a point to prove in this game since they got shut out by the Steelers. Well, not as far as points. But the thing is, did you see the Steelers defense just completely just keep Matt Stafford out of the end zone?
Yeah, he had 400 yards with no touchdowns?
Yeah, 400 yards and zero touchdowns.
I was surprised by that one.
Yeah, if there's one thing about that Steelers defense, they can hold. But at this point, is the Packers defense just as good as the Steelers defense?
No, not even close.
Well, no, I would say not anymore. If we're talking 2, 3, 4 years ago, yes, you could say that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna say no. I'm just gonna say not right now or not anymore. But yeah, Brett Hundley, he's still way too green, and inexperienced. He makes bad decisions, and the Packers have a little bit of a running game to hide behind, but that'll only work so long. And Matt Stafford, like I said, he's got a point to prove. But I am gonna have to go ahead and give this one to the Detroit Lions. Um, let's say 24, 24 to 17. Yeah.
That seems about right. I don't think Stafford's going to be right out the end zone twice or in 2 weeks straight. So
Yeah.
I feel like he'll put up like 3 touchdowns this week maybe. Um, their run game is decent, but their defense is what's really the X factor here. Huntley shouldn't be able to do anything. I don't think the Packers defense is really that great. I feel like the Steelers got them by a good shot. You got Shazier and Joe Hayden out there. I
Yeah.
think they have TJ Ward now, right?
Oh hell yeah, Shazier, Joe Hayden, Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree was getting held all night long, but
Yeah,
he was still finding a way. He was still finding a way to try to get to Matt Stafford.
And you got Cameron Hayward.
Yeah,
So,
that dude.
I mean, you guys got a defense. I can't
Yeah.
really saying much compared to the Packers. So,
Yeah.
I think the Lions make a statement when it's 31 to 13.
Yeah. Well, that's all the predictions for this week. This week is actually kind of a shorter week because, like I said, there's a few teams that are on a bye week. And the thing is, we have a couple of barn burner games like the Cowboys and the Chiefs, and the Falcons and the Panthers and the Rams and the Giants. Those will be our barn burners of the week. And then we got a couple of sleeper games like the Bengals and the Jags and stuff like that. But this week is gonna be kind of quiet. But final thoughts before we sign out here.
Yeah, like you said, these games are kind of predictable. They weren't as crazy as last week where we were sitting here like, oh man, this might go either way, blah blah blah. It's kind of open and shut case. I'm hoping this Dolphins Raiders upset happens.
Yeah,
I do want the Raiders to lose.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm kind of looking forward to this week because I don't have to watch my team lose to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's true. You do need a break and a few drinks to wash that taste out of your mouth for that loss. But yeah.
Oh man, it was terrible.
Yeah, like I said, my guys, my Steelers, we did a hell of a lot of work. Like I said, in last week, I said that we might not get a bye, or that first round bye. We might not get the top 2 seeds in the AFC. But now I'm kind of a believer that we might probably get first and second place in the AFC. If not, we definitely got the 3rd seed locked up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
A lot of teams kind of after this trade deadline, I'm kind of skeptical now. I feel like the Saints could run away with it because the Falcons have been kind of fluky. Yeah, but I feel like the Steelers are solidified, if anything. Steelers and probably Chiefs are the only 2 teams. Well, Steelers, Chiefs. Yeah, Steelers, Chiefs, because Bills are kind of scary on the low.
Yeah, they are.
So, yeah, I can see those being the 2 teams that.
Yeah. Now, before we sign out here. Yeah, now before we sign out here, let's go to the NFC standings. It's a pretty damn open and shut case that unless Philly loses out, they're gonna get that first round bye, and they are more than likely going to take that NFC East spot. Who else do you see? They could probably take that other first round bye spot, that number 2 seed in the NFC. Yeah, or just the NFC conference in general.
Oh man.
You got the Saints. You got the Saints. You got Carolina.
Maybe the Rams.
Oh, never the Seahawks. The Seahawks might very well take that other seed too. But the thing is,
I feel like the Seahawks are going to take the division, and then the Rams might sneak up and get a
wild card. Yeah, I mean, well,
the wild card.
Yeah, they're going to get a wild card. Yeah, more than likely. It's right now. I mean, because like I said, we're already halfway through the season, and unless the Eagles just completely lose out, unless they just tank the next 6 games. I mean, the thing. All right, let's just say, for all intents and purposes,
I highly doubt.
Yeah, I know. I doubt that. I mean, they're on a roll right now, so I doubt that. But let's just say, for all intents and purposes, they've got 7 games left. And let's just say that they tank or they throw 3 of those 4 games. Let's just say if they finish 12-4, they might still end up with that that first round bye, even if they're 12-4.
Now, here's another thing: the Vikings' schedule isn't that difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them getting. I can see them getting 56 seed. Because, I mean, come on, because the NFC North isn't really a threat with Aaron Rodgers going.
Yeah. I can see the Vikings winning about 6 of their last 8 games to finish the season. So I don't think they're... I mean, they could be up there with the Eagles in contention. But, yeah, I'm looking at Seahawks, Rams, and maybe the Saints, Falcons being the... yeah.
Anywho, this is kind of a short episode this week, short, sweet, and to the point. Oh yeah, also before I sign out, happy Halloween for everybody who celebrated. Speaking of the devil, I just got a Facebook inbox that I got invited to this Halloween party, so I might play some cards and get drunk to finish off my Halloween night. Yeah.
But, anyway, I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, all right. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back next week with Flip. Hopefully, we'll get Wallace, Toby, and Ben on the show next week. But anyway, I'm out, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.